What's up guys, it's Darius, and in this video I'll be showing you guys the best budget YouTube gear, whether you're just starting out or you already have a channel and want to invest in some gear. I've got you covered. The first thing you're gonna need is obviously a camera. Now if you're really on a tight budget, then I'd recommend just using your smartphone if it's a fairly recent one, because cameras on smartphones have just gotten really good. I've shot whole videos just using my smartphones and they look pretty good. Now if you do want to actually purchase a camera, it's a little confusing because there's a bunch of brands and even more models. What I would recommend is getting a camera that can shoot at least 1080p video, if not 4K, but that's really not necessary, and one where you can change the lens, because you can upgrade lenses and achieve different looks with different types of lenses. I have two recommendations for you. The first one would be the Panasonic G85. It is a small, affordable and compact 4K camera with a flip out touchscreen with some great pro features like focus peaking and zebras, and it even has sensor stabilization built in. I'm actually shooting with the Panasonic G7 right now, which is its predecessor. The main difference between the G85 and the G7 is the new sensor stabilization, which the older model doesn't have, but the image quality is fairly similar, and as you can see, I think it looks really good. It does however have some downsides. The sensor is only micro four thirds, which means it's quite small, so the low light performance isn't that great, but it's not terrible either. And the other downside is its autofocus. Especially in video, it's pretty much useless and I would never rely on it. So if you want to vlog or shoot something where you need to use the autofocus, I would not recommend this camera. Now if you do need to rely on the autofocus, then check out my other recommendation, which is the Canon Atd. It has Canon's dual pixel AF, which is definitely best in class. I'm actually using it right now on my secondary camera. It's tracking my face right now. I'm not using any manual focus, or I didn't set it before. It's doing a really good job. There's also tap to focus, and it's always super smooth and accurate. You can definitely rely on it. The Atd also has a flip out touchscreen. It has great battery life, and the sensor is actually a bit bigger. The body is bigger and more robust, and it's actually weather sealed. The Canon's downsides are that it lacks 4K, and there's also no sensor stabilization, so you will have to get image stabilized lenses if you shoot a lot of handheld video, for example. And it lacks a lot of these pro features like focus peaking and zebras and stuff like that, which is a bit disappointing. It is also a bit more expensive, although that shouldn't be a deciding factor, because you should really think about what camera is better, what ecosystem is better, and make your decision based on that, not if it's 100 or 200 bucks more. Both are amazing cameras. I'd definitely go with the Canon if you're vlogging or making travel videos. Again, thanks to that amazing autofocus. Otherwise, the Panasonic is great for pretty much anything else, like tech videos, for example. In terms of lenses, it really depends on what kind of videos you will be making. If you're vlogging, for example, you'll want a wide zoom lens. If you're making tech videos, you would want a fast prime, for example. I will have a couple of options linked below. In fact, all the links to all the products mentioned in this video will be down below in the description, so make sure to use those. That would help me out a lot. Now, a key aspect of cinematic video is that it's smooth and stable. So you'll definitely want some form of stabilization. The most obvious one is a tripod. Just make sure to get one that is fairly sturdy and has a fluid video head, so you can get some nice smooth pans and tilts. It doesn't have to be expensive, there's a bunch of great options. Again, I'll have some below. If you're vlogging, you'll definitely want a GorillaPod. You've definitely seen those before, and pretty much every vlogger uses them, and for good reason. You can hold them out, so you can film yourself, or you can mount them to pretty much anything, so you can get some unique angles or beautiful time lapses. If you can't set your camera down somewhere, but you do need some fast and smooth footage, then I'd recommend a gimbal. My favorite one is from Zhiyun Tech. There's a couple of options. I have the Crane V2, but I'd probably recommend the Crane Plus if you're just starting out. It's a little more affordable. Otherwise, if you have a larger and heavier camera like the Canon Atd, then I'd recommend the Crane 2. Now, you definitely do not need a gimbal, especially if you're just starting out, but if you do get one, I promise you're gonna love it, because it gets you some amazing smooth shots that would not be possible handheld. One additional tip I have for you, if you want to get smooth footage, but you are gonna shoot handheld for whatever reason, shoot in a higher frame rate than you're actually gonna play it back at. So for example, if you're gonna play it back at 24, shoot at 50, 60, or even 100 or 120 if you can, and then slow it down in post. Because slow motion obviously is more stable than if you just film it in normal motion. Now another crucial aspect of filmmaking is lighting. There's just no way around it. You need good lighting to have nice looking video. But here I'm using, for example, a window for some natural light and an LED light to fill in that side. And I also have another light in the background down here. That's gonna just lighten the background a bit and separate me from the background. There's again a bunch of options. I would recommend LED lights. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. So I'll just have a couple linked below. You don't need anything fancy. Just make sure your video is well lit. Moving on, good audio quality is equally as important as good video quality. If you're vlogging, for example, I would recommend a shotgun mic that mounts directly on top of your camera. I'd recommend the Rode Videomicro. I actually have one mounted on top of this camera just for backup audio, but this is what it sounds like, and it sounds pretty good. Normally you would have it a bit closer to the subject. Right now I'm a bit far away, but nevertheless it sounds pretty good. It's small, compact, and most importantly, it's affordable. If you're going to record voiceovers, then I definitely recommend the Blue Yeti. I'm actually using that one right now. It's USB and plugs directly into your laptop, and yeah, as you can hear, it sounds pretty good. I've been using it for all my videos, and I think it sounds amazing, especially for the price. It comes in at around $100. Just make sure that the subject is fairly close to the microphone. Lastly, if you can't use a shotgun mic or a voiceover mic, but you still need great audio, for example in an interview situation or where you're standing away from the camera with a lot of background noise, then I'd recommend a lavalier mic. It clips onto the Talon's shirt, and since it's so close to the subject, it blocks out a lot of the background noise that you don't want. I personally don't own one, but I'll have a couple of nice options linked below. Once you've captured your video, you obviously need to edit it. Now there's a bunch of great editing suites. My favorite ones are Adobe Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro 10. Both of them are amazing, but also very expensive, especially if you're just starting out, but you definitely don't need those. There's a bunch of much more affordable options or even free options. I'd recommend DaVinci Resolve, HitFilm Express, or even iMovie if you have an Apple. Most fairly modern computers will be able to edit 1080p video without any problem. You will need a quite good one to edit 4K video, but you don't need to film in 4K. 1080 is perfectly fine. I'd highly recommend using Final Cut Pro 10 or even iMovie if you're in the Apple ecosystem. Otherwise, if you prefer a Windows computer, I'll have a couple of options below and also a link to my $1,000 PC build video. Again, all the links to all the products will be down below. Make sure to use those. It would help me out a lot. If you have any suggestions of other products, leave them below in the comments or let me know what you're going to be picking up. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button. Leave a comment down below if you have any feedback or questions. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos in the future. And if you're interested to see how I make my videos, check out this video up here. See you in the next one. Bye.